Hey, welcome back to the range. Glad you guys were able to make it out with me. Beautiful day in central Oklahoma. Light winds, lots of sunshine, excellent weather. We had all that rain, all that Londonderry fog and mist. I'm so glad it's gone. So hey, hope you brought all the stuff you need. I brought all of my stuff. We got this number 4 Mk1 Sporterized out here set up, getting ready to, for the very first time, test this weapon. Now, I say test, it's more or less acclimate me to the gun. The sighting system on this is something I'll touch on just a bit. It has iron sights, and all of the sight adjustments are made at the rear sight. You use screws on 3 sides to adjust the rear sight only. There's no adjustment on the front. And it really seems like a fairly simple operation. I hope it stays that way. Now, you may see me from time to time look up to check that front sight. That's because it's pinned at the front of the blade in the housing, and it can actually lift up a little. So if you see me checking that, I'm looking to see if it's lifted up, because if that thing lifts up, well, it's going to screw up the group, because if the front sight moves, the group moves. With this type of sighting system, it'll be fairly simple, but I got to keep an eye on that. Now the second thing you may be saying is, Brad, you're a big old boy, you kind of stocky, what you doing wearing that old poop pad? I'm not a poop. I just shooting a 6-pound rifle with ammunition that has muzzle velocities in the 2400 to 2700 range, with bullets weighing anywhere from 150 to 174 grains. That's a little more recoil than I like on a heavy basis. And I don't know, I haven't fired the rifle. It may not recoil all that bad, but I'm ready for it. And point 2, you notice I wear overalls. Now these little buckles up on these overall straps, they have a tendency to wind up just about right there on the face of my shoulder. And if you've ever thrown a hard recoiling rifle up against your shoulder with overalls on, or a 12-gauge shotgun, and got that buckle underneath that butt pad and pulled the trigger, you'll only do it once or twice, and then you'll decide there's a different way to do things. So I drop my buckle when I'm shooting, and I put this pad on before I know how a weapon recoils. So without any further ado on those things, what we've got is the PPU ammo that we talked about earlier on, and I'm going to start out just getting this weapon on paper with the 150 flat points that I made, because honestly the 174s is what I would carry in it for most of the time. We're going to just load them one at a time and work our way on this, getting this weapon sighted in. Now again, I have to kind of talk about the fact that this isn't a weapon known for its absolute precision. The term accuracy is basically a generalized term when you're talking about these weapons. All the other rifles I shoot, the term precision is used quite regularly. Kind of give you a little example of the difference of what I'm talking about. Precision is an email addressed to a specific individual. And rifles like these are more or less, when you're talking in generalized terms of accuracy, to whom it may concern. All right, it's just, yeah. I fully expect if it'll hold a 1-inch group at 50 yards, I'm happy. If it'll hold a 1.5-inch group at 100 yards, I'm super happy. It'll depend on the ammo, and it'll depend on how accurate the barrel is. So without further ado, got a target set up on the target board down there at 38 yards, and we're just going to walk the rounds in one at a time if they need to be walked in. Now, I spoke about this being a 2-way adjustment sight. Right now I've got it set at what is basically its mechanical center, and we're going to go from there. We may have to go further than it is capable. I don't know. I've never shot this gun, I couldn't tell you. So we've got the target on the target board, got it set up. Now I'm going to be aiming this weapon with regular, what you would call a combat battle sight 0. So what I'm doing here is I've got a paster target down there, splatter shots or whatever you want to call them, and I'm just going to be holding my sight picture so that the target itself, the whole target, sits just on top of the front sight. That's going to be my sight picture. That's how I'm going to aim. And because I'm not too worried about this being a long range unit, I'm going to go ahead and adjust as I fire to the point where when I'm using that sight picture, my bullets are impacting once we get to the 50 and 100 yard, basically just above where the sight was. That's just the way I do it. And it's fairly accurate and it works fairly well. So without any further ado, let's get the camera angle changed, and we've got the target down there and we got plenty of sunshine and the target's starting to get sunshine on it. It's time to shoot, baby. What do you say we make some noise? Grab your ear pro, get settled in. Now, if this turns out to be an affair where I have to make a lot of adjustments, obviously I'm not going to do all that on camera. I'm not going to make you sit through that. The adjustments. The shots, yeah, we'll do that on camera. But if this turns into a long-winded affair, I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me tinker with this thing every time I have to do it. So I got my handy-dandy sight adjustment tool, straight blade screwdriver. Got 5 rounds to start with. Let's get that camera angle changed and see what we can see. Stand by. Alrighty, here we go. Round number 1. Let's find out what we can find out. Not too bad. I can tell you right now that the safety has a tendency to kick back, try to lock the action up. We'll have to work on that. Looks like I'm sitting there basically about 2 or 3 inches right of center. Send another one down there with it. Right next to it. And there goes that safety again. Okay. Now we know we got something else to work on. California gun. Probably did that on purpose at the factory. Let's get a couple more. A little bit above those first 2. That safety's still doing its thing. It's going to be a pain in the ass. That's definitely an issue I'm going to have to take care of. Right there with him again. Goddamn safety. Still in that group with them, and you have to remember that I had to shave those soft points off of these so they'd work reliably when from the magazine, when feeding from the magazine. And that may account for a little bit of the movement of the group, but it is an SMLE. So let's go down there and get a picture of that, see what it looks like. Stand by. All right, so quick little peek at the picture showed you that we were running about 2 1/8 inches to the right, but we're on center. So I've never adjusted these sights before, and we're just going to do a little trial fit the first time. Like I said, any future adjustments we have to make, we'll do that off camera. Right up here is the top screw. That's elevation, of course, and you can see right here, slotted screw, kind of see it. There's one on the right, there's one on the left. Now we want to move that sight to the left because that's the strike move we want for the bullet. And I'm going to go ahead and just turn that a half turn and then snug up from the other side. And hopefully, you can see the action is loaded. And if you see me stepping in front of the barrel, don't freak out. May not go a full half turn. I think I'll go about 1/3 of a turn. We'll see what we get from that. Now, we're basically good for up and down, so we're not going to mess with that right now. Let me tweak this just a little bit. Make sure it's snug, because this system, although simple in nature, can be kind of complicated to make sure you've got it locked into where you want it. All right, let's give it 5 more rounds. Stand by. All right, I might also mention, got me some string. I've wired that safety down. I'll get that issue fixed. But until then, field expediency, friends, field expediency. Learn how to do that stuff. All right, let's see where these babies go. Shot felt good. Looked like it moved the group, well, at that shot, moved over about 1.25 inches from center of the last group. Let's throw a couple more down there, see what we get. And the safety stayed in place. That's what we want to see, ain't it? Asshole. That one is just above center. And that trigger release felt a little better on that one. That one's right in there with it. I think we may be good to go. We'll find out. Smell it. cooking. I love the smell of a military firearm when it's cooking. All right, let's check that group out and see what happens. Stand by. Alrighty then. Okay, now I've made some adjustments. You can see from that picture that we're really just almost on dead center for left and right. And I've adjusted just a little bit to kind of allow for that. I've also depressed the sight down 3/4 of a turn on that screw so that hopefully I'll be closer to my point of aim. Now keep in mind, we're not really trying to hit the bullseye center. My aiming point is the very bottom center edge of that entire black target. I want those bullets impacting just a little bit above it by an inch or so. Then when we move to 50, I ought to be dead on, or pretty dang close to it. So let's throw a few more rounds in there and see what we can see. Stand by. I'm really glad I bought this pad. I think I'm seeing a group develop back over to the right. I know I pushed it the right way. Maybe it's just the way I'm pulling the trigger, I don't know. We'll find out. Stand by. All right, just as I suspected, as you can see from that last picture, our group did shift back to the right. It did that mainly because one of two possible reasons. One, this mounting point for the sight is not absolutely square to perpendicular for the rifle, or the mechanics inside it have a tendency to make that group shift back off center, and that is a foible that is common in a lot of setups like this. So you can also see that the group did come down almost to where I want it. I've depressed that sight another 1/4 of a turn down, and I've allowed for the foible inside by going ahead and adjusting that sight a little further to the left. Hopefully this should have us hitting just above the bottom edge for center with this particular round. Once we make sure that's happening, we'll go ahead and switch this over to the 50-yard line, put some 174s in, and see what they do. May have to make more adjustments. let's make some noise. Can tell you I'm real close. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm just about there. Let's go find out what happened. Stand by. Alright folks, now we've moved out to the 50-yard range, and I did have to tweak the sight just a little to allow for that last shift. Now, I fired all the 150s I brought with me. We're moving to the 174s because that's going to be my common use cartridge, is the 174 grain. Got that target board down there on the 50-yard line, and we're set up, and we're going to run 5 rounds into it, see what kind of group we get, and hopefully it gives us some good results. And the wind is picking up, so this is a challenge. Alrighty, get ready, stand by. Alright, let's make a little noise. What do you say? Let's see what we did. Stand by. Well, I guess you can already see it. I gotta go down and look at it. Stand by. Alrighty, so this tells me basically 2 main things. One, I'm more or less good for up and down for a battle sight combat 0. Now my aim point is still here, but I'm hitting here at center where I need to be. So on large targets like pigs or anything else, I can raise that sight picture up, and just as I come through the bottom of their belly, I can pull the trigger and I'm gonna nail them. At longer range, still holding here, I'll be right here. So I'm cool with that. But as you can see, once again, our group has shifted to the right. Now, It's actually a better group almost. This tells me that I gotta adjust for these 174s because they have a tendency to go further right than the 150s do. And that's okay. I'm cool with that. I will make that adjustment and we will see what happens now. Stand by. All right, all I can say is I hope we're just about where we need to be because I'm getting real close to the end of available adjustment room on that two-way side. So let's go ahead and run 5 more in it and see what kind of results we get. What do you say? Stand by. Well, you saw it in real time. Let me go down and look at it. Stand by. Okay, well, as you can tell, we basically mirrored the group, but we did shift just a little to the left, not a lot. Now, this up here, that's got to be a flyer. That's just me. Could be the ammo. It's PPU, but who knows? But basically, the group just kind of shifted a little to the left. I'll go ahead and make one more adjustment to the left, and I might adjust it down just a tad. But other than that, I think we hopefully will not run out of room on adjustments. I sure hope we don't run out of adjustment room. That's gonna suck. Oh well, stand by. Alrighty, 5 more rounds, what do you say? Let's go take a look at it. Stand by. Okay. Alrighty then. For those of you unfamiliar with the meaning of the term keyholing, and I don't know why this is happening unless the barrel's just too dirty now. But this is 3 prime examples of keyholing. You can actually see the absolute profile of those bullets as they hit sideways in this target. I've seen minor keyholing, I've seen oblongs, but I have never seen bullets print their absolute profiles. Well, I have, but it was 45 years ago with Soviet weapons. But this is a prime example of what you don't want your bullets to do. Now we started out, and I cannot tell you which ones are which now. First, second, or third, fourth, or fifth. Well, I guess I'm done shooting for the day until I can figure out what the hell this is all about. Who knows, maybe I ripped a piece of 75-year-old rifling out of that barrel and now it's just shit. Or, could be, when it gets dirty, 174s aren't the thing to shoot. Or, could be, PPU ammo sucks large donkey wongs. I don't know. I just don't know. I'll have to give that bore a good cleaning and come back out and see what happens. But guaranteed, rest assured, we will revisit this and see just what in the hell is going on. Holy cow. Stand by for some after action. Well, okay now. How about a little after action report on the Golden State Arms Golden Eagle Mountaineer Santa Fe piece of shit bullet turner. Yeah, wasn't that wild? Sitting there doing kind of okay, you know, throwing the kind of accuracy I expected, but a little larger than I hoped for. And then just all of a sudden decides to go chucking them 174 grain sideways. Oh, man. It's funny. It just goes to show you sometimes things just do not even go the way you plan. I checked that bore. I sent a light down and everything. There's no chips missing. All the rifling's there. It's not all that dirty. I don't know what's going on, but anything that'll throw 3 of them sideways in a row, or at least 3 out of 5, nah. I ain't going, not for the 425 I spent on it. And that's not to mention the $180 I've already spent in ammunition, buying ammunition. I only have to see, thank goodness I haven't shot a bunch of it. I've shot $60 worth today. So hopefully I'll be able to recoup my money on the ammunition. Because, damn. But you just never know. Pawn shop guns, don't you love them? I've got a lot of great guns out of shops over the years, and I've never had one do this. I've had some that I wasn't too happy with, but between the keyholing and the safety auto resetting itself to safe every time you fire, and that kind of clabbered up method of adjusting the sights, nah, I ain't gonna mess with this. If I'd paid $75 for that rifle, I'd play with it. I'd do something with it, and I'd make it a fine gun. But somebody else is going to have to put the money in that rifle. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it and got a good laugh out of it. I know I goddamn sure did. And who knows what's going to happen next week. I'm in the middle of getting things moved, so it may be a week or two. But stand by, and hopefully, here real soon, we'll have another edition coming at you of... what the hell is happening downrange? See you guys later. Bye.